Welcome to AI ConvoCast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Quick housekeeping. Check out the affiliate links in our description. Using them supports the show, and please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in. Today, we will be covering Anthropic's public refusal of a Pentagon demand for unrestricted access to Claude, Microsoft's new Copilot Tasks, autonomous agent entering research preview, Nvidia's stock dropping despite beating earnings expectations, and Anthropic softening a key piece of its safety framework under competitive and national security pressure. Let us get right into it. On February 26th, Anthropic made headlines by publicly rejecting a Pentagon demand to expand how the Department of Defense can use its Claude model. The DoD was pushing for contractual language that would grant access to Claude for, quote, all lawful purposes, and notably the proposed terms did not explicitly rule out domestic surveillance or autonomous weapons applications. This is a big deal because Anthropic has long maintained policies that prohibit the direct use of Claude for domestic mass surveillance or for lethal autonomous weapons that lack human oversight. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reportedly issued an ultimatum telling Anthropic to comply by the end of the week or face contract termination, a possible supply chain risk designation, or even measures under the Defense Production Act. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei responded publicly, saying the company, quote, cannot in good conscience exceed, end quote. He went on to criticize the proposed contract language for lacking safeguards and called the threats contradictory. This standoff puts at risk a reported $200 million federal contract, as well as broader federal access agreements that were originally signed back in August of 2025. Adding more context here, reports indicate that competitors including OpenAI and xAI had already agreed to the revised Department of Defense terms, which makes Anthropic's refusal all the more notable. It is a very clear line being drawn by a company that has staked its reputation on responsible deployment. Now shifting over to Microsoft, which on that same day unveiled a new feature called Copilot Tasks. This is an autonomous agent system currently available as a research preview with a waitlist. The idea is that Copilot Tasks can handle background work on your behalf using Microsoft's own cloud computing infrastructure, rather than running anything directly on your local device. So think of it as giving your AI assistant a to-do list and then walking away. You can assign it one-time tasks, recurring instructions, or scheduled jobs, all using plain natural language. Examples include scheduling meetings, organizing subscriptions, drafting email replies, turning emails and images into slide decks, and even planning events. One of the more thoughtful design choices Microsoft made is around permissions. For sensitive actions like making payments or sending messages on your behalf, the system will prompt you for explicit approval before proceeding. Once a task is completed, Copilot Tasks generates a report summarizing everything it did, so you have full visibility. This is Microsoft evolving Copilot from something that helps you while you are actively working into something that works for you in the background, even when you are not at the computer. It is clearly aimed at competing with similar agent-style products from OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and Perplexity. Enterprise reactions are still early since it is a limited preview, but initial developer feedback has been cautiously optimistic, especially around the permission gating and the auditability features. Turning now to Nvidia, the company reported fourth-quarter earnings that beat Wall Street expectations, yet shares still fell about 5.5% on February 26th. Analysts attributed the drop not to anything wrong with Nvidia's actual performance, but rather to broader anxiety in the market about the sustainability of AI infrastructure spending across big tech. KeyBank highlighted that Nvidia's data center revenue grew by 75%, which is a staggering number. Analyst firm D.A. Davidson set a price target well above where the stock was trading, and Morningstar's Brian Colello estimated fair value significantly higher as well, suggesting meaningful upside. The sell-off was reportedly Nvidia's largest single-day percentage decline since April of 2025. What is really going on here is a tension between explosive real-world demand for AI compute and investor patience around how much money the biggest tech companies are pouring into that infrastructure. Nvidia's fundamentals remain strong, but the market is increasingly scrutinizing the pace and scale of capital expenditure commitments across the sector. Now circling back to Anthropic for our final story, because there was a separate but related development. Axios reported early on February 26th that Anthropic has been softening a central commitment within its flagship safety framework. The company acknowledged that maintaining unilateral safety pledges becomes increasingly difficult when competitors are operating without similar constraints. Axios described this as a, quote, remarkable reversal, end quote, for a company that has long been positioned as the conscience of the AI industry. The timing here is hard to ignore. This policy recalibration was discussed publicly during the same week that the Pentagon was threatening to pull Claude from government use entirely. So on one hand, you have Anthropic drawing a firm line against unrestricted military deployment, and on the other, you have the company acknowledging that its broader self-imposed safety commitments need to evolve in the face of competitive and geopolitical reality. As Axios reporter Zachary Basu put it, quote, supremacy can be fleeting in the highly competitive AI race, end quote. It paints a picture of a company trying to navigate an incredibly complex environment where the pressures of government contracts, market competition, and foundational safety principles are all colliding at once. Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.